Let's speak in English from now on.
She told him that she believed in astrology.
彼女は彼に占星術を信じていると言った。
She told him that she believed in astrology. She told him that she believed in astrology. She was ashamed of herself for her carelessness.
彼女は自分の不注意を恥じた。
She was ashamed of herself for her carelessness. She was ashamed of herself for her carelessness. Several cottages have been isolated by the floodwater.
いくつかのコテージが洪水で孤立した。
Several cottages have been isolated by the floodwater. Several cottages have been isolated by the floodwater. Marriage is the main cause of all divorces.
結婚はすべての離婚の主な原因だ。
Marriage is the main cause of all divorces. Marriage is the main cause of all divorces. Florence is the most beautiful city in Italy.
フィレンツェはイタリアで最も美しい都市です。
Florence is the most beautiful city in Italy. Florence is the most beautiful city in Italy. If you can't have children, you could always adopt.
子供ができないならいつでも養子になれますよ。
If you can't have children, you could always adopt. If you can't have children, you could always adopt. We waited in the park for a long time.
私たちは長い間公園で待ちました。
We waited in the park for a long time. We waited in the park for a long time. The train for Birmingham leaves from platform 3.
バーミンガム行きの列車は3番ホームから出ます。
The train for Birmingham leaves from platform 3. The train for Birmingham leaves from platform 3. Tsunamis swept through rice fields and flooded the towns.
津波が田んぼに押し寄せ、町を浸水させました。
Tsunamis swept through rice fields and flooded the towns. Tsunamis swept through rice fields and flooded the towns. I slept a little during lunch break because I was so tired.
私は疲れて昼休みに少し寝た。
I slept a little during lunch break because I was so tired. I slept a little during lunch break because I was so tired. I recognize that what he says is the truth.
私は彼の言うことが真実だと認める。
I recognize that what he says is the truth. I recognize that what he says is the truth. If he studied hard, he would pass the test.
もし彼が一生懸命勉強すれば、試験に合格するだろうに。
If he studied hard, he would pass the test. If he studied hard, he would pass the test. English is not easy, but it is interesting.
英語は簡単ではないが、面白い。
English is not easy, but it is interesting. English is not easy, but it is interesting. The enemy dropped many bombs on the factory.
敵は工場にたくさんの爆弾を落とした。
The enemy dropped many bombs on the factory. The enemy dropped many bombs on the factory. As soon as she wakes up, we'll turn on the music.
彼女が目を覚ましたらすぐに音楽をかけます。
As soon as she wakes up, we'll turn on the music. As soon as she wakes up, we'll turn on the music. I'm going to run a couple of errands. Wanna tag along?
ちょっと用事があるんだ。一緒に行く？
I'm going to run a couple of errands. Wanna tag along? I'm going to run a couple of errands. Wanna tag along? Between you and me, I think our boss is stupid.
ここだけの話だが、うちの上司はバカだと思う。
Between you and me, I think our boss is stupid. Between you and me, I think our boss is stupid. You had better take an umbrella with you today.
今日は傘を持っていた方がいいよ。
You had better take an umbrella with you today. You had better take an umbrella with you today. I can't tell you how to pronounce the word.
その単語の発音の仕方を教えられません。
I can't tell you how to pronounce the word. I can't tell you how to pronounce the word. He looked for every possible means of escape.
彼はあらゆる逃げ道を探しました。
He looked for every possible means of escape. He looked for every possible means of escape. My son is now as tall as I am.
息子は私と同じくらいの背の高さになった。
My son is now as tall as I am. My son is now as tall as I am. Some people like red wine and some people like white wine.
赤ワインが好きな人もいれば、白ワインが好きな人もいる。
Some people like red wine and some people like white wine. Some people like red wine and some people like white wine. She spends a lot of time practicing the piano.
彼女はピアノの練習に多くの時間を費やしている。
She spends a lot of time practicing the piano. She spends a lot of time practicing the piano. When she saw that they had no schools, she started one.
学校がないのを見て、彼女は学校を始めた。
When she saw that they had no schools, she started one. When she saw that they had no schools, she started one. We have to sing at an old folks' home today.
今日は老人ホームで歌わなければなりません。
We have to sing at an old folks' home today. We have to sing at an old folks' home today. Where do you suppose you'll spend your vacation?
休暇はどこで過ごすつもりですか？
Where do you suppose you'll spend your vacation? Where do you suppose you'll spend your vacation? You should have told me a long time ago.
もっと前に言ってくれればよかったのに。
You should have told me a long time ago. You should have told me a long time ago. About how much will I have to pay for all the treatments?
トリートメントは全部でいくらくらいかかりますか？
About how much will I have to pay for all the treatments? About how much will I have to pay for all the treatments? Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you speak English.
英語を話すときは間違いをするのを恐れてはいけない。
Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you speak English. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you speak English. There is nothing worse than doing something in a half-hearted manner.
中途半端なことをすることほど悪いことはない。
There is nothing worse than doing something in a half-hearted manner. There is nothing worse than doing something in a half-hearted manner.